we were just listening to Jerron talk about how he wasn't really recruited by Kansas coming out of high school. Just curious, in your recruitment process, how much interest did you get from them when you were coming out?
Yeah, kind of the similar story with Jerron. My interest in KU and their interest in me was very small. And, they did come to me after Kansas State had offered me. And but by then, I was already set in stone on coming to Kansas State.
So does that add to you extra motivation when you play them throughout your career?
Yeah, definitely. And, growing up in Topeka and only being 30 minutes away from the university, it's kind of just a respect thing, how Kansas State came out and offered me first and had that trust and belief in me. And, kind of KU, really not having that was kind of a disappointment a little bit. But at the end of the day, Kansas State was the place I wanted to be at. So, yes, it does fire me up a little bit because just because, they're only 30 minutes down the road and the interest was very little.
What do you see when you look at the offensive line and just the offense in general that you're going up against this week?
Yeah, well, they lost. I don't know about the interior guys, but I know that they graduated their 2 tackles. I think they're both seniors, and so they have 2 2 new tackles at the left and right side. That's always something that's very helpful as a defensive end, is going out there and playing against someone with not much experience, just because it goes against how much experience we have as a D-line versus how much experience they have as an offensive line. I'm just very confident that we'll go out there and get the job done on Saturday.
Appreciate it, Wyatt. Thanks.
Thank you.
Kels?
I feel like a lot of teams might overlook KU given their record every year, but just because of y'all's rivalry and some of these recruitment stories you tell, does that make it kind of impossible for you guys to do that?
Yeah, I'd say so. One thing about Kansas, I think they always play better on the road than they do at home, especially here at Kansas State. 2 years ago, when we won 21-18, that was a close game, and some people still say that they should have won that game. And we were in a tight spot and tough position, but they came in here and they gave it their all for us. And no matter who's KU's playing, we're the most important game on the schedule for them every single year. And when they play us, that's their Super Bowl, and they're just going out there and they're giving it all they have, and they have nothing to lose against us. So we're going to get their best shot for sure.
How do you feel like the defensive line has evolved this season from game 1 to where you are right now?
Yeah, the thing about the defensive line is, look across the board and everyone's disruptive, which is something that's, so great. I wouldn't say we have a single guy that's just a guy in there to fill gaps, to stop the run. Everyone's a pretty good pass rusher. Everyone does good in the run game, and everyone just knows their assignment. And that's the most important thing about the defense line, is that all 4 of us, whoever's in the game, have to be on the same page, doing the same thing. And that's something that we're always good at, and something that we've practiced well and practiced every single week. And as long as we're on the same page, running the same stunts or the same pressures, and we're going to get to the quarterback and hit him good.
Flip side of the ball, is there an offensive lineman at K-State who's giving you a lot of trouble in practice?
Yeah, obviously, the same name comes up every time. Josh Rivas, obviously a very talented offensive guard. I know he plays inside, but, a few of us defensive ends play inside as well on third down. He's definitely the toughest offensive lineman to go against, just a very talented person, big, strong hands, big, tall guy, and obviously lots of experience too. Me and Josh came in together to Kansas State, so it's always been a battle between me and him, and not only me and him, but him and a lot of other guys as well. So he definitely makes us better as the rest of the offensive line does as well.
Thanks, Wyatt. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll do these last 3 raised hands, starting here with Arnie.
Yeah, you talked about the defensive line across the board, but I know the coaches have made a special effort this year, I think, to increase the depth on the line. You've used a lot of people. Do you feel that's helped you guys late in games? Just the sheer number of people you're running in there, and maybe being fresher at the end of the game?
Yeah, definitely a lot more better for us. That's the one thing, the reason we've been playing so well on defense, because, we've been playing all 4 quarters for all 60 minutes, where, teams get tired. Teams start to shut down in the middle of the 3rd quarter and don't finish the 4th quarter strong. So as long as we have fresh bodies in there, The expectation for us on the defense side of the ball is to play hard, play 100%, and make sure everyone's running to the football, because that just helps so much with pursuit angles and cutback lanes and all that kind of stuff. So if you're in there, you're pretty fresh, and the expectation for you, if you're between those white lines, is to go full speed and rotating not only us defensive ends, but the corners and linebackers as well. Helps out with that tremendously.
You talked about just the depth in other aspects, but it seems like the pass rush, I think you've got 3 guys with 2 sacks. You're getting some push up the middle from Drew. Do you feel like that's helping you? Maybe now there's some other guys emerging, Khalid and Boom Massey, maybe that are drawing a little bit of attention away from you?
Yeah. And that's the one thing about defensive line, if you play together as a unit, it just makes your job so much easier. If one person's getting double teamed, it frees up another person on the other side of you. And, that's just one thing that's so good, because Drew Wiley is obviously very disruptive on the inside in the run-in passing game. So, they obviously focus on him a little bit more, and that kind of frees up Eli Huggins a little bit. And, same scenario with us defensive ends a little bit. But like I said, the greatest thing about us, as up front as a defensive line, we just play hard and we always run to the ball. And, you have no excuse for, giving good effort. And, a team that gives good effort and defense that gives good effort is a dangerous defense. And that's just something that we have.
Mitchell?
Hey, Wyatt, knowing that you guys aren't going to have to play against Puka Williams, how does that kind of change the way that you're approaching this game?
Well, honestly, it doesn't change the way we approach the game at all. Obviously, everyone knows he was a very explosive, dynamic player who can make plays all the time. But, the last 2 years we played him, he rushed for under 100 yards. So like I said, the defense always steps up and does our thing. And whether he's there or not, our mindset and our approach this week at practice remains the same. Just staying gap discipline, reading our run fits, and taking off on the pass and hitting the quarterback and getting pressure on the quarterback. So obviously it does help us a little bit, because he was a very good player, very talented player. And that obviously helps us in a big way. But the way we approach this week and our mindset definitely stays the same.
You mentioned quarterbacks. Now we're still not exactly sure who it is that's going to be starting under center for KU. What kind of things are you? How does knowing that there's going to be 3 different dudes that could get the chance? How does that kind of change the way you're preparing for the game?
Yeah, well, the freshman quarterback, he's definitely very athletic, very similar to the rest of the Big 12 quarterbacks that we've played. Makes a lot of plays with his feet, very athletic in the pocket, jumps around, versus the 2 other older quarterbacks. They're more pocket passing quarterbacks. That definitely makes it a lot easier for a defensive line to get sacks when the quarterback's a pocket passer type of style, just because you don't have to worry about the quarterback draws or the scrambles and all that kind of stuff.
Last one here, Adam.
Wyatt, is being 3-0 in the Big 12 and at the top of the Big 12 standings and being ranked number 20 in the country something you and your teammates talk about?
No, honestly, that's the whole thing. Coach Climbing tries to get the point across to us. We can't talk about what we're ranked in the Big 12, what we're ranked nationally. We just have to worry about today and how good, what we're going to do at practice today to make us better. And we just take that day at a time. And I think that's why we've been so successful, in the Big 12 with 3 wins, because, we don't worry about Saturday. We don't worry about the outcome or what we want the outcome to be the next day or on Saturday during game day. We just focus on one day at a time. We go out there and prepare.